Some people inherit houses. Others inherit guilt. We pick up habits, expectations, and fears, and mistake them for personality. We learn to call exhaustion work ethic. We treat silence like strength. We confuse worry with love. But what if none of that was truly ours to carry? Welcome back to the Motivated Savages podcast, where we live bold, lead fearless, and ignite our path forward. I'm Jody Savage, and today we're talking about the inheritance we don't see. The one that lives inside our choices, our reactions, our relationships. Passed quietly from generation to generation until someone says enough. Last weekend, I was with my extended family. I so enjoyed the laughter and the stories and the familiar rhythm. But as I listened, I started hearing something else underneath. A weight. It wasn't always spoken out loud, but it was there. That small undercurrent of guilt, of fear, of self-blame. The kind that hides in everyday conversation. And in that moment, something clicked for me. This isn't just about me or them. It's about all of us. Because every family, every culture, and every community has this invisible inheritance. And today, we're going to name it, break it open, and build something new. So take a breath. Roll your shoulders back. Because this episode is not about blame. It's about freedom. Let's call it what it is. Ancestral guilt. It's that invisible weight you feel when you say no and immediately start to justify yourself. It's that whisper that says, you can rest later, even when your body is begging for peace. It's that deep, unspoken belief that your worth is tied to sacrifice. That's not your truth. That's conditioning. It's inherited energy passed through stories, fears, and survival instincts. Generations before us learned how to endure. They worked through war, hardship, and scarcity. And somewhere in that lineage, survival became identity. So we push, we please, we say yes when we mean no. And here's the thing, you can love where you came from and choose something different. Ancestral guilt doesn't disappear by ignoring it. It dissolves when you understand it. When you see that the guilt you carry isn't a flaw, it's a message. It's saying you've reached the edge of what this pattern can teach you. And that's your cue to evolve. Think about it. How many of your choices come from fear of letting someone down instead of faith in what feels right? This isn't about rejecting your family or culture. It's about reclaiming your energy. It's saying, I honored what they survived, and I choose to thrive. That's where healing begins. Once you start noticing, it's everywhere. In your work, saying yes to every request because saying no feels selfish. In your parenting, overcompensating because you swore you'd never repeat what you saw growing up. In your relationships, keeping the peace even when it costs your truth. It's subtle and it hides inside good intentions. When I was with my family, I noticed these tiny comments that carried generations of guilt. You just need to do what needs to be done. We don't ask for help. I just get up and do it because that's what I do. Does that sound familiar? These phrases get handed down like heirlooms, but instead of gold, they carry pressure. And when I pointed it out, the reaction wasn't defense. It was relief. It's like everyone exhaled at once, because deep down, we all know something's off. We just needed permission to see it. Awareness doesn't blame the past. It liberates the future. And once you recognize the pattern, you can rewrite the story. That's when growth stops being conceptual and becomes cellular. So let's shift the energy right here. Because guilt is just misplaced gratitude. It's your body saying, I'm grateful for what came before me, but I'm ready to lead differently now. So how do you do it? You reframe the energy. Instead of, I owe them, say, I honor them. Instead of, I have to, say, I choose to. Instead of, who am I to break this pattern? Say, who am I not to? Every time you do that, you're rewriting the energy in real time. You're creating a new inheritance, one that's rooted in choice, not obligation. And here's the beautiful part. When you shift, the entire line begins to shift with you. Your kids watch, your friends feel it, your community notices. They might not understand it right away, but they'll sense something powerful. Peace. This is where the chain breaks. You're not betraying your roots, you're healing them. That's how generational patterns end. Not with rebellion, but with renewal. Now let's talk about boundaries. The most misunderstood form of love. There was a time when I said yes to everything, every project, every favor, every, can you just request? And do you know what that got me? Burnout, resentment, and exhaustion. Because when you say yes to everything, you say no to yourself. Learning to say no changed everything, not from defiance, but from love. When I began saying no respectfully, compassionately, I didn't just protect my peace. I modeled it. And something amazing happened. My confidence came back. The people who respected my boundaries grew closer. The ones who didn't drifted. Boundaries don't end relationships. They reveal them. And that's okay. Because no isn't rejection. It's direction. And here's the flip side most people miss. You have to learn to accept no too. When someone tells you no, it's not a personal attack. It's them choosing alignment. Respecting someone else's no is also breaking generational control. It teaches emotional maturity, mutual respect, and balance. All the things our ancestors fought hard to find. Healthy boundaries don't build walls. They build legacies of peace. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you rewrite history. Every time you pause before reacting, you break a cycle. Every time you speak truth instead of shrinking, you teach the next generation courage. That's what this is about. Not perfection, but progress. It's not about being better than where you came from. It's about becoming more of who you were meant to be. Universal law teaches us that everything moves. Rhythm, polarity, cause and effect. The moment you choose a higher thought, you shift the entire vibration of your life. That's not just mindset, it's physics. You're not stuck in an ancestral pattern. You're standing on an ancestral momentum. And when you change direction, that energy moves with you. It's powerful, it's real, and it's yours. So the next time you catch yourself repeating something that doesn't feel right, stop. Take a breath. Ask, is this inherited or is this me? That one question can change everything. When you heal, you don't just free yourself. You free the ones who came before you and those who will come after. You become the bridge. You turn ancestral guilt into ancestral gratitude. Because you're the first in your line to live with awareness instead of fear. The first to rest without apology. The first to lead with joy instead of duty. The first to say, this ends with me. That's the inheritance we get to create. Peace that echoes forward. Someone in your lineage has been waiting for you to do this work, and you just did. And now, here's your Savage challenge for the week. For 7 days, notice one inherited belief or behavior that doesn't serve you. Each time it appears, stop and replace it with a conscious choice. Here's an example. I have to do everything myself. That can become, it's safe for me to receive help. Write it down, say it out loud, share it with someone. Because awareness spoken becomes shared power. And that's how generational cycles truly end. Not in silence, but in motion. I'm Jody Savage, and this is the Motivated Savages podcast. Live bold, ignite your path. That's the Savage way. If this episode resonated, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to break the cycle. Someone who needs to hear that their story can change the line. And if you want to carry this message with you, check out our merch line at motivatedsavages.com. We've designed gear to remind you to live bold every day. Together, we're building the Savage community, a movement of people choosing purpose, growth, and bold living.